Hey, good morning, YouTube. My name is Kenny. Thank you for checking out this channel. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is buttoning up a couple loose ends that we haven't completed on the Banshee. Got a couple things that we're almost done with. So one of the key things in order to getting all this stuff done is my hardware. And typically I do my hardware as I go along. That way I don't lose track of my nuts and bolts. But since I'm getting down to the wire of a few things, I think I'm going to be okay getting the bulk of it done. So in this video, that's what we're going to be doing today. Getting a little bit of powder coating done. I'm going to show you the process that I use to go through powder coating my nuts and bolts. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, cut that notification bells on so that as we continue on with this build, you'll be notified in the future.
Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
All right, everyone, so we're here next to the Banshee. It is time to get all this rolling. We have a couple pieces of hardware here. So these are the clamps that go on top of, or the brackets that go on top of the front of the frame here. And these actually sit on top, and one side holds the plastic, and the other is a radiator mount. We have the bar clamps for the top end. They go up here. We're going to get those powder coated as well, black. We have the handlebars. Here, already sandblasted. Now, these were a little bit of a challenge, to be honest with you. Since they're big, it was a little bit challenging to get them in the dip. And they had like 4 layers of stuff on them, so I'm assuming it was black powder coat, had blue spray paint, had more black spray paint on top of it and clear. So it took a little bit longer to get it stripped, but that's no big deal. We got it looking great now. We're going to get all this powder coated. And also, it's my hardware. Let's talk about that. All right, so here's the area to where those brackets are going to mount. And one being sitting, say this one here, will be over here. A little hole mounts right on there. Plastics would mount here, radiator would mount there. So we're going to get those done so we can get all those completed and looking real good. We do have some bags of hardware. And since I have been marking my hardware, everything, I know everything goes. So we're going to work on the process of getting all this sandblasted here and getting it ready to be powdered. Now I'm going to be honest, this part right here isn't super hard. It's just time consuming because I want to keep everything organized. So what I'm going to do is take my few bolts out of the bag, put them inside my magnetic bowl here. So keep it all together and keep it from falling down in the media. And then after I get these 3 or 4 things powder coated, after I get these 3 or 4 things sandblasted, I'll take them back out, put them back in the bag. That way when I get them ready to be actually put on the aluminum to be able to be powder coated, everything's organized still. So we'll get to this real quick. Alrighty, so what I'm doing is relatively simple over here with the nuts and bolts. I just got a piece of cardboard from just one of these boxes that I have down here on the floor. Took one of the flaps off, wrapped it around in aluminum. You don't have to use anything expensive. And after I've got these all powder coated, as you see, sandblasted, I'm just taking the raw bolt and pressing it through. And it'll have contact on the aluminum. And I'm just trying not to press the heads all the way down so that a little bit of the powder can get underneath that lip of the bolt and everything. But this is going to make a nice clean setup for the powdering surface. So there we go. We're going to be going this route, and it's going to be looking real good for us. And we'll show you when it's all done. So here we are. We have them all in there that we got blasted a little bit ago. This is how they all stick out on the back. So after the powder hits them all and everything, we just have to make sure that we blow air through the back to make sure we don't get any powder in the threads. And even if we do, we can use the wire wheel to clean those up. But overall, we're ready to rock. Now, we're not going to do anything fancy or anything. I just have some brake part cleaner. Always does well for me. Just going to spray these here. Get them nice and clean. Helps degrease everything, and then we're gonna let them dry for a couple minutes. I could put them in the oven. Typically I would, but I already have other things in there, so we're just gonna let them air dry. We did put the big swing arm bolt up there. I forgot that one, but the wet charcoal works really well. And we're just going to put a little light. You don't have to go crazy. You just want to cover everything up. And that's basically it. I am going to just make sure I turn it a little bit so I can get all my angles and stuff good to make sure I didn't miss a couple corners. But overall, you know, we don't have to go super heavy, and we're not trying to go crazy just because we don't want it to lose or gain any kind of crazy thickness. And we are officially done, and we're going to cook them in the oven for the suggested cure time. Now, this can work with colors, but, you know, I don't recommend it once you're going to have to put like clear and stuff on them because it makes the parts way too thick. And don't forget to spray off the backs. Sure I didn't get anything off the fronts. We're still good. All right, so we're out of the oven, if you can see. Parts look really good. There's the black right there. So yeah, I mean, you could possibly do this without sandblasting, but I don't think that it would hold up really well. So you definitely want to get a sandblaster. That texture that you're going to be putting on the surface is what helps hold that powder to it, just like anything else. So if you scratch the surface up, it holds. Yeah, so we're not super clean, but it looks great. So yeah, we got these two pieces of hardware reinstalled. We have that one that's going to be holding the brake reservoir, the rear one. Everything looks good. Like I said, these aren't tightened on there yet, but see the nut head and everything is going to just look good once it's on there. Got all these on there, it's nice and secure. Got all that up there. Just went ahead and put things where they're going to go ahead and go. Alright, yeah, everyone, so that's basically the process that I use to get the hardware powder coated and looking brand new and looking great. So just make sure you just take your time with putting it on. Taking things off is usually easy because I know I'm going to be powder coating it over with, so I'm kind of like rough with things. But when you reinstall, you know, you don't want to use an impact driver. Make sure you're friendly with your ratchet. And some of the things that I know I have to have torque, I do put like a shop towel or paper towel or something around it just to give a little extra cushion. But, you know, I enjoy it. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to check out my videos. Subscribe. You'll see a nice one right here.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm